Okay, here we go once again. Welcome back to another World Cup prediction. We are here with, I think, the first match of group. Um, oh, fuck off. Not you. Not anyone here. The adverts I'm getting. Group H. It's not the first game of Group H because Spain and Cabo Verde have already played. Professionalism at its finest. But we are here for the next game of Group H. It is Saudi Arabia. It's going to be taking on Uruguay in this one. Um, if you haven't seen the Spain Cabo Verde simulation result, I would advise you to go back and have a look because this game could really blow the group wide open. Uh, it was a draw between Spain and Cabo Verde, I will say. I'm going to leave you to go watch and see what the scoreline was. However, it could be a change in the guard at the top of the group as Spain were shocked in that one and it could just change everything. What I do know right now, ladies and gentlemen, is that we have got this one underway. We're going to take a look at the settings as always. We've got to do that. We've got to do that. It's a tradition now. It's tradition now. 10-minute halves. What's the quick match thing again? Oh, to save shit. We don't care about that. 10 minutes, legendary, competitor mode on, player race difficulty on. We have got the quick substitutes on. Ball is always the same throughout the group stages. The stadium will not be the King Fahd Stadium. We're going to have to pick a stadium from America. I'm not going to go the Inter Miami Stadium, which did that for the last one. I am just going to go for probably one of the BC ones, to be honest. I don't know how many of these. I don't know how many estadios are actually in the game and are Mexican. So we're just gonna. How many fucking estadios have we got? All right. Okay. Where's El Libertador? That's Brazil, isn't it? Just look for. We'll go for Dignity Health Sports Park. I'm gonna have to do some proper research into the stadiums. I did try and research them, but apparently you got to go for every single stadium, on Google. So, bear with me because I'm gonna try and Google search it again. I'll tell you what it says. It just lists the ones in real life, which does not help at all. There's some that have been added apparently, but I don't know what the ones were in to begin with, and I don't need adverts when I'm trying to read the bloody article. So it's like, who knows? But yeah, it doesn't list the whole doesn't list all the stadiums that you can use, which fucking pain in the arse to be honest, because I don't know all the locations. Anyway, doesn't matter. We've got one anyway, so we'll go forward with this. Pitch color, pitch color, pitch color. I knew I'd forgot something. Professional job here, like I said. We'll fuck around in these parts. Has to be bright green. Anyway, the teams then for this one. This is your lineup on both ends. For Saudi Arabia, you know their game has been getting a bit better since the 2022 World Cup. You know they've been improving. There has been obviously money injected into the game because they can, and it looks like their team does look a lot better from the 2022 World Cup. Like I said, it's Abdul Hamid, obviously one of the main defenders. Tambakti looks pretty good. Of course, the captain Al Dasari is going to be the main man to try and ignite a spark for Saudi Arabia. And it is better than what they had. Is it good enough to beat Uruguay? I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure. What I do know is the Uruguayan side has a lot of the usual names you expect, a lot of recognisable names. Ronald Araujo, down to an 81 overall, mental. I suppose he was injured a lot. Jimenez as well, Varela, Valverde, the captain. He's going to be one of the main points of this Uruguay team. It's not quite the glory days, of course, of Suarez, Cavani, Forlan, all those incredible strikers, but we do have Darwin Nunez up top, so it's like none of them will ever be missed, to be honest, because Nunez is so far clear. If you can't tell, I'm joking. Ugarte as well in the midfield means you probably already lost the match. Rodriguez, Derisqueta, Pelestri. Pelestri, former Man United man as well. My boy. I can't call him my boy. I didn't really like him at Man United. What I do know is that is those are the lineups for this game. And without any further ado, with a little bit of further ado because I pressed the wrong option, so it means I have to change the stadium again. Slightly more ado than I would really like here. I can't remember what one it was. Was it the Dignity Health Sports Park? Yeah, I pressed the wrong option there, and now I've got to scroll for all the fucking estadios again. My own fault though. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, that is your teams. That is your settings. Dignity L Sports Park, 10 minutes half length, legendary, authentic, sunny at 3 p.m. I could probably change the time. I just can't be bothered. It's Saudi Arabia versus Uruguay.
Two sides are primed to give it their all in what promises to be 90 minutes of relentless end-to-end action. We should be in for a cracker. And a warm welcome on what is a fine day for football. Perfect playing conditions. My name's Guy Mowbray. I'm joined by Sue Smith in the commentary position. And
here we go, then it is in fact the next game of the group of H. I apologise for my poor memory. You got to do what you got to do. Sometimes you got to try and go off memory, and when your memory is old like mine is, you do forget these things. But it is in fact the second of the Group H games. And like I said, a draw for Spain and Cabo Verde. As I was saying before the national anthems proceeded on, Spain drew with Cabo Verde, so a win here for either Georgios Donis's Saudi Arabia or who the fuck's the other team? Oh my god, my short-term memory is atrocious. Who is Saudi Arabia playing right? Uruguay. Fucking hell. Right, a win for either Saudi Arabia or Uruguay would put them top of the group at the end of match day 1. So if one of these nations can take the initiative, big news. I think I need my bloody memory checked, man. I just saw the national anthems playing and forgot who Saudi Arabia were playing. And they're right there. It's Uruguay, led by Fede Valverde.
Thank you, Dignity Health Sports Park. Enjoy the game.
It's a good side. It's a strong side. Will it be enough of a side to get a win here and move themselves to the top of the group after a shock result in the other Group H match? I would say yes. But you have also started Ugarte, so you're taking your life into your own hands in that situation. However, I think otherwise there is plenty of quality on the Uruguayan side that they do get the dub here. And as we kick off, left to right for Saudi Arabia, right to left for Uruguay. I do think Uruguay will have plenty of quality. Obviously in real life, Spain, I predicted a 4-0 win. I'm not saying they're going to draw 0-0 with Cabo Verde. I am going to say in this one, though, it'll be a little bit closer than maybe what you'd expect. But I do see Uruguay coming out with it. I'm going to say, I think I'm going to say 2-1 to Uruguay. Not entirely sure who the scores will be. I'm sure Valverde will be involved. But I think Saudi Arabia go 1-0 up, to be honest. And then Uruguay get 2 goals to peg them back and win it. However, this isn't the same Saudi Arabia of 4 years ago. This it's not incredibly improved, obviously, but a bit better Saudi Arabia. They've been working on their football. Don't look at that pass that's just gone out for a throw-in though, because that won't prove anything. But in all seriousness, they have been working on their football, and they could find a way with this new format to get through the groups at the very least. Possibly as a 3rd place team, possibly as a 2nd place team. Hell, they might top the fucking group. They won't top the group in my opinion, but you just never know with the possibilities of this World Cup. The formatting of this makes it very, very generous for more teams to go through. And I think Saudi Arabia might be one of those that do sneak through. Darasqueta though for Uruguay, dancing through early on. This could be ropes for Mexico, for fucking Saudi Arabia. Jesus. I was thinking of last night's game with Mexico and South Africa, because I actually watched it. Quite good. Not top tier, but 3 red cards, can't go wrong. 2 of them weren't red cards in my opinion, but again, still can't go wrong. Guetta, Valverde, that is a fucking penalty given away from Saudi Arabia to open proceedings. That is an awful challenge from Amri. There's got to be no debate on that one. He gets the ball to Guetta, touches it away, and gets absolutely hacked down. And first blood can go to Uruguay early here. It is Valverde to step up, the captain, on the spot. Will it be 1-0 to Uruguay?
To make it 1-0.
It will. It's a very good penalty. There was not really a lot of doubt around it, to be honest with you, in my opinion anyway. I didn't doubt it. I mean, watchers and Saudi Arabia fans, of course, will be looking to doubt that that was going in, but it does not stop it from going in, unfortunately. And it is a really good penalty into the top right. And there's no gripes around the fact that it is a penalty. I don't think there's any debate on that. And if there is, then I need somebody else's eyes, because that is a penalty through and through. And Valverde does take advantage of it and does make it 1-0 Uruguay. And that is not the start you want if you are Saudi Arabia. There's a bit of a, you know, self-report on yourself, a bit of a self-destruct situation when there wasn't really a situation that needed to be self-destructed there. I know Guetta probably does lay that off to Darwin Nunez. It's maybe 1-0 anyway, but he's laying it off to Darwin Nunez. I don't think there's a lot of risk there. I'm sorry, I'm going to keep making Darwin Nunez jokes just because it is the meme, but I don't know how he's done in Saudi. I can't judge a man that I've not been watching the football of, so I don't know how he's actually done. He might have done really well. I might just be an arsehole. Well, actually, there's no debate on that fact. I am an arsehole. But it's just fun to meme a little bit, innit? Varela, Araujo now. Inside to Valverde. Ugarte, Valverde. And again, Ugarte, if he has a good World Cup, Man United could fetch a pretty decent fee for him. I think he is going to go, which is probably for the best. I wanted to like him when he came in, but he just isn't very good. So if he has a good, it'd be good if he had a good World Cup. We could get a good fee in. While I'm looking away, it's 2-0 to Uruguay. I have completely missed that. I'll be transparent with you. It's Darwin Nunez that has the goal, but I completely missed it. I know that it went out for a corner. That's all I saw. Focus on the bloody game here. All right. What happened? Sorry. What? That, I mean, it's not really hidden that has to be on the goalkeeper. That is 100% the goalkeeper's fault. The back pass from his centre back is played to him. All he has to do is welly it. He's either miskicked it or just couldn't be arsed. And Darwin Nunez, even though it's Darwin Nunez, isn't going to miss that, is he? Like, he is Darwin Nunez, but there's a limit to it. If it's an open net from 6 yards, he's not going to put it wide, is he? Usually. It is 2-0, and it is a cataclysmic error from the goalkeeper. And I've come in here, hyped up Saudi Arabia about how their football has improved over the past 3.5 years, and they've given away a penalty, and the goalkeeper's given them a shot. It's 2 goals of their own errors. The penalty from Valverde and the goal from Nunez. It is a disaster class at the back, and it could be one of those simulations where Uruguay just run off with it now, because Saudi Arabia are the makers of their own downfall. I need to be watching this game because I would have laughed at that. I would have laughed if I'd seen it, but I was texting someone back, and I look up and Darwin Nunez is celebrating, and I'm wondering what's going on. Right, lock in. You're only recording for around 40 minutes at a time. You can text people back between the rest of the time, the rest of the day. It's only what, 2 PM. I'm not working till 6, so I've got plenty of time after these recordings to actually text people back rather than missing action that could have been funny. that was funny. But now Uruguay on the back foot here. So out to 2-0 up. Araujo blocks the first effort. I'm not sure what entirely was the plan there. Salim tries to find Mandash. Oliveira closes it down. And you got to admit, Uruguay haven't been great so far. But it is a confidence boost. Because if Saudi Arabia are shooting themselves in the foot, then it opens the door. Especially if you are Valverde or Nunez, you're not going to miss the opportunities quite literally given to you. I mean, you can't. It's nigh on impossible to do so, as they now need 2 goals minimum to draw this level, and 3 goals if they want to win this and top the group.
Moving the ball, trying to move the
They don't look
defenders.
like scoring 1 yet. I mean, it was still very early in this game. Uruguay have not been great, like we said. The penalty, the build up towards that penalty, the De Arrascaeta, of course, winning the penalty was quite nice. But Nunez got a goal on the silver platter, and they will still need to show a bit more, will Uruguay, against other teams. Against your Spains, maybe even against your Cabo Verdes. Doesn't matter yet though. Quality in favour of, or not of quality, but they do have the player quality as well. But the scoreline is what I meant to say. In favour of Uruguay. Whether they deserve it, whether they've earned it or not, they've got it, and that's what really matters. No dispute. Salim inside to Musab. Ferraz back to Musab. Away by Valverde. They're going to struggle to get past him on his worst day. He's still a very good player. Varela down the right hand side, not closed down, could get a ball inside, does. De Arrascaeta, that's how they won the penalty the first time around. Pelistri with a nicely taken finish. It could be curtains. It could be trouble. Well, it is trouble. It's 3-0. And that's actually really well played. And it was similar passing the first time from, I don't think it was Varela who made the pass to De Arrascaeta to win the penalty, but it was that similar position. Of course, the Saudi defender didn't want to commit again and give away another penalty, but in the end, it's laid off to the former Man United man, and it's curled in nicely into the far left corner, out of reach of the goalkeeper. A very well taken finish from Facundo Pelistri, and it is now a runaway train for Uruguay in this one. And like I said, after the first 2 goals, performance maybe wasn't quite there. They've turned up the tempo. They've got a goal of their own accord without having to be given it. And yeah, Uruguay looked really, really good on full value for the win.
Oh, could be here.
Oliveira closes it down. It's a Saudi Arabia corner. 8 minutes from the halfway mark. Well, obviously there's going to be injury time as well. Nowhere near as much as the real life games, of course, because we do not have hydration breaks.
It's put into the middle.
But we do have 3 goals in the first half, so that might add a couple of minutes on just due to celebrations.
Ugarte.
I'd say a healthy 2 minutes probably to close out the half. Yeah, Saudi Arabia do not look like they're on it at all.
Pass picked
Again,
up.
Uruguay have been questionable in certain situations, but
That's a frustrating error.
That's
they've got a
lovely
healthy
ball.
lead.
Might be
They
something
can
building
afford
now.
to be. Well, they shouldn't really be, because that might end up happening as Ferraz just puts it off target. That could have easily gone in. My point was about to be, they can afford to get complacent, but they shouldn't. Because this is the World Cup, and crazy things have happened at World Cups. We could get to the end of this game and it'll be 4-3 Saudi Arabia potentially. It is a lead, and a very strong lead. And I mean, Uruguay can rest on it, but let's not get too silly here. When I say they can afford to be complacent, what I really mean is Obviously, the goal lead, the fact that Saudi Arabia haven't really threatened, they can relax,
Oliveira.
is my point. They can't relax to the point where shit starts going wrong,
And on to
but they can relax to the point where they don't need to push for a fourth, they don't need to put pressure on themselves to find a fourth. They just need, to see it out, to keep the goal difference, to keep it healthy.
Nunez.
I know it's a very boring way of playing, and as a fan, you want entertainment and as many goals as possible, but if you're a strategist for Uruguay,
Jimenez.
maybe just dial it down a bit. Just see out the half at least anyway,
Federico
and then
Valverde.
focus on what you want to try and do for the second half.
Now Jimenez.
Don't make any mistakes like Araujo nearly did, and Jimenez nearly did. Loose passes,
Now
and good
Araujo.
pressing from Saudi Arabia, to be honest with you. But Uruguay now played out the press. Valverde,
Ronald
back to
Araujo.
Araujo, now Valverde. I think they are just doing what I suggested, because they're not really moving it forward. They're kind of going side to side and just chilling to close the half, and it is 2 minutes of added time to close the half.
On to Valverde.
Obviously, 3 goals will get a bit of stoppage time because
Given away as
the celebrations, etc. Could Saudi Arabia find an attack to close out the half? Not if Ronald Araujo has anything to say about it. And it could be Uruguay on for 4-0 if they get the time. I don't know if they will. I don't think they will. They shouldn't.
On to Valverde.
And they won't.
Well, that's going to be all for the first half here at Dignity Health.
Well,
Sports Park.
it's a half of
Well, of all the
interest.
players we're watching
I think
today,
we'll
would you
put it to
agree that
interest,
he'd certainly get
intrigue.
good marks so far?
Yeah, that's been a good half
Because
for
Saudi
him.
Arabia,
Clinical with his finish,
the first
but
15
he's
minutes
maintained an intensity to
just
his
imploded.
performance.
I don't, for
He'd
no
look to
reason,
keep that
to be
going
honest
in
with
the
you.
second half.
Absolutely no reason to implode like that. Of course, the penalty given away in the 9th minute. De Arrascaeta tries to lay it back. I don't know who, or tries to play it to Nunez. Tried to play it to somebody else. Took the touch, caught mowed down, and Fede Valverde put the penalty away. Second goal for Darwin Nunez. It's just very, very poor goalkeeping. Should just leather that clear. It's got next to no power behind it. And it is Darwin Nunez who will feed on the scraps. And then the third goal, quite well worked. Similar to how De Arrascaeta had the ball in position for the first goal before he was hacked down. Didn't get hacked down this time. Laid it on the edge to Pellistri. And it was a really nice composed finish. Take a look at the stats then. I've had 3 shots. Oh dear. 56 to 44 in terms of possession in favour of the 3-0 leaders right now. 3 shots to 2. Saudi Arabia's efforts both off target. Uruguay's efforts not only all on target, but all goals. All leading lights in this game. 2, of course, have come from Saudi Arabia's mistakes. The third one really nicely taken. It is, like I said, not incredible from Uruguay, but somehow they find themselves in a 3-0 lead, and they won't be complaining about that at all. There won't be any complaints. Man of the match for them so far is Valverde, who has controlled that midfield as you'd expect, as well as the penalty as well, 8.4. De Arrascaeta has been a consistent issue. Obviously being fouled for that penalty, as well as setting up Pellistri's finish, 8.3. Pellistri been active as well down that right-hand side, showing a bit more than what he did at Man United, a goal and a 7.9. And Darwin Nunez, he hasn't done much wrong, but he hasn't really needed to try for his goal. It is quite a simple finish when you get the ball passed to you. And I know we're making jokes about Darwin Nunez, but he ain't missing those. Oliveira putting a good shift at the back, as well as Araujo, Varela overlapping. Ugarte's been alright. Hasn't had any bomb scares just yet. And the rest of the players haven't really been involved to get a rating, especially Sergio Roche, who hasn't had a shot at his goal on target, so hasn't really been needed, hasn't really been required. For Saudi Arabia is Musab Al-Jawer in the midfield. Again, the midfield seem to get higher ratings in these simulations than any others just because they're passing the ball about more. I don't know if it's a fair reflection that they were doing well, that they're above a 7, but I mean, they're better than the rest at the moment. Yaya, not bad, I suppose. Firas has had a couple of half chances. Nothing incredible. And yeah, the rest of the team has been piss poor to disastrous. I think it was Al Amri that gave the penalty away. And I don't remember who passed it back to Al Akiri. But he has been very suspect today. 3 shots on his goal. It says only 2 conceded, but because it doesn't count the penalty, or it puts it in a different category. As you can see there, penalty goals conceded 1. He has conceded 3 total, and they've all been, well, 2 out of 3 have been his team's fault. Again, the first one's a penalty, and a very well taken one. Second one, he set up for Darwin Núñez. Third one, can't really do much about. It's a nice finish. The first and third ones are out of his reach, but the second one was very much on him. We head into the second half. Is there going to be more goals? Or could Saudi Arabia stop the rot here and maybe try and find a way back into this? I'll be honest with you, I don't think they will, but again, anything could happen.
Jimenez. Ugarte.
Again, it's just, it might have to be a boring Uruguay second half performance. There's no point in risking anything in this one. But, of course, the simulation is not controlled by me, it's controlled by the video game. So risky might be what they go for anyway. Fuck if I know, mate. I'm going to put the 4 on charge real quick, so if you be plugging that in. Apologies. I'm also not very sorry because I do need my phone for later today. Rodriguez closes that down. Oh, you idiot. Faraz. Good turn. Well worked, actually. That's actually well worked. And Saudi Arabia have put this game, maybe put some breath back into this game, put life back into it, and maybe a comeback on the cards. Because it has Al-Kabari who finishes off the move. But that is piss poor. I can't remember which player it was that was piss poor. I think it was Rodriguez. That pass back is awful. It can't be dealt with. And it is Faraz who does some really smart movement to turn his man. Can't remember who it is who's at the back for Uruguay, I'll be honest with you. What I do know... Oh, it's not Araujo, it's the other one. Who's the other one? Jimenez. Jimenez at fault there. Faraz turns his man. And it's set up for Al-Kabari. And just after the halftime whistle, that's what I mean. Nothing stupid from Uruguay. They go and shoot themselves in the foot. It's a match of mistakes, to be honest with you. 3 of the 4 goals have been errors. But it does give Saudi Arabia a lifeline. And if you're Uruguay, you do not want that. Because there's still 40 minutes to play. And Saudi Arabia will start to believe again. They will start to think, well, hold on here. Maybe they're doing the same thing as us. Maybe they're making errors. Maybe we can pounce on those. Maybe we can get back into this. There's definitely potential there to do so. However, if Uruguay score a 4th, it could be well said and done, to be honest with you.
And on to Ugarte.
Especially if Saudi Arabia are the creators of their own demise again, but I think they maybe learned a lesson. Don't want to say it too soon though. Substitution requested for Uruguay. Possibly a defensive one to try and shore up this 3-1 result currently. Could change, obviously. Saudi Arabia look up for it a bit more than they did. A-man is offside. And that will facilitate the change necessary. It is Rodriguez that is going to come off for Araujo. I believe that's the fullback in it. Can't remember his first name. Marcos? I don't know exactly. I think I know who it is anyway. Ball knowledge is not one of my specialties, as you can tell. I don't really watch football as much anymore. So, I'm only back for the World Cup as well. It's not like I'm fucking coming back full time. I'm only watching the World Cup because it's the World Cup.
Jimenez. Valverde.
It's quite funny because my birthday happens during the World Cup, so I'll get a year older as the World Cup goes on. And maybe I will watching the games as well. Maybe I'll feel years older after them. But I'll actually advance in age. If you know my age, you know my age. If you don't know my age, I'm not fucking saying it. I feel old already. Memory issues. This is what Uruguay need to do without giving the ball away. Because there's still plenty of time for Saudi Arabia to cause issues. And I know it's boring. It's not the most fun style of football, but from a game management type side of affairs,
Looking for that
it's
final
probably the way
pass
Uruguay
to
need
open
to
it
do it. And they're going all the way back to Jimenez
up.
and Araujo.
To Valverde.
And it's smart. If they are pushing for a fourth, they're trying to bring the Saudi Arabian players out of their positions.
Ugarte.
Passing it across that midfield line, back and forth.
Valverde. Manuel Ugarte.
I will admit it's quite boring to watch. Ugarte gives the ball away. Of course he does. He does get it back though, to be fair. I'll give him credit. But Saudi Arabia currently can't touch Uruguay.
Jimenez.
And it is
Matias Oliveira.
a big situation where Uruguay run down the clock here
Jimenez.
and win 3-1. But
Now Araujo.
it is boring to watch, I'll grant you that. And it's poor from Varela because now Ferraz has it for Saudi Arabia and they could break. It might be a mistake again for Uruguay that they might have to pay for. Ferraz could play it through. What the hell is going on there? Why has he done that? Why have you... I don't know which player did it. Why has he done it though? Vinyas coming on for Palestri on the Uruguayan side. Ferraz had a good little run going on there. Could have maybe played it out left. The offside player tackles him and the play stopped because he's offside.
Oliveira.
Mental. Football is a weird old game, isn't it?
Really is all that matters for them now.
I've still got at least one more to record after this as well today. I mean, if you don't know already, June 12th is a recording date. I think this will be uploaded early morning, June 14th.
Now Jimenez.
Or late night, June 13th. Can't remember the exact time of the game. It's either 11 PM
Araujo.
or 2 AM, and I can't remember which one this one falls under.
To Valverde.
However,
Oliveira. And the pressure
it will be
pays.
uploaded
Now to switch up
2 days
again.
before the kick-off date, and we'll continue to try and do that as far as I can, if time allows. Saudi Arabia, it really could be problematic for Uruguay. I don't know where Al-Kabar is going. I don't know why he's skilling backwards. But what I do know is they're going forwards again, and it's through, and it's closed down by Jose Maria Jimenez, really smartly actually, to prevent an opportunity. And that's what I expect more from him, not getting turned by Ferraz, who was key to the first goal. Saudi Arabia come again. It is Salem who could play it to his pick, and it's Musab. That is fucking awful. And I don't want to hold back on that one because that is atrocious. You score that, your country believes even further. But that is an
Federico Valverde.
absolutely terrible effort. It's not cleared at all by Uruguay though, so they might get a chance to rectify it. Musab into Ferraz, and it is wide again. They're getting the chances. They're just not putting them away. And I think that's what's going to cost them ultimately. Ugarte coming off from Bentancur on the Uruguayan side of things. But Uruguay are leaving themselves open to a lot here. Saudi Arabia just haven't taken the opportunities, which I think is going to cost any chances of a comeback.
Bentancur.
Because the comeback opportunities have been there. They just haven't been taken. And in a game like this, you have to take your opportunities.
Rodrigo Bentancur.
Life comes at you fast, and you could be at the World Cup without a second glance. So take what you can.
Finds himself with space now. He's flying forward here. Read the pass well and cuts it out.
The play again by Uruguay. I mean, Saudi Arabia have had plenty of the ball at this point. They just haven't... Well, actually, no, they haven't had a lot of the ball, to be honest. Uruguay have been controlling it. And it could be 4-1 instead of going to 3-2 as Varela into Vinas. Darius gets to close down. I don't know why I said his name like that. Sorry, Vinas. I didn't give you justice there, mate. The play was going quite fast. I guess that's my excuse. Iman to Musab. Kano again. Now the time is running out. I thought for a while Saudi Arabia might be able to do it, but those opportunities not taken may mean that Saudi Arabia will lose to the clock here unless they score in the next few minutes, and it's closed down again and away by Uruguay. I think any hopes of a possible comeback will be extinguished, especially if Uruguay do get that fourth. I don't think they will, but then again, Darius Guetta, good press. Vinyas inside to Darwin Nunez. It's well read by Al-Akidi. That should be finished off by Darwin Nunez, to be honest, but it isn't.
Valverde. Rodrigo Bentancur. Well, that's how to keep it under pressure. Jose Jimenez.
This has been just a game of mistakes. I don't know what it's going to be like in real life. I can't remember what I said for the scoreline. I'll be honest with you, I can't remember what I said. I think I said 2-1. But I would advise you to go back to the start of the match and double check. And I'll put it obviously in the description. So I will have made my mind up by then. But I think I said 2-1. De Arrascaeta, Viñas, closed down. Yeah, Uruguay are going to see this one out. Saudi Arabia had the opportunities to pull off something special. It's not going to happen. And that's a bit of a shame, to be honest, because it could have made for a very fun simulation. And it still has been a fun simulation. This has been quite funny. Just mistakes deciding the game rather than quality. However, it will be the Uruguayan team that I'm sure will take the 3 points now and position themselves at the top of the group. By no means a good performance, though. It's been enough, I would say. Controlled it for a good while at the start of the second half. Well, actually, that's a lie, to be honest with you, because Saudi did get the goal pretty much 5 minutes and a half, I believe. And then a good period of control by Uruguay. Mistakes, though, could have cost them on a different day against a different team. That the other team, say if it's like a Spain and they're 3-0 down and they get those opportunities, they will get the comeback. Because it's Saudi Arabia, not as experienced, not as much quality on their team. Uruguay get away with one here, in my opinion. I don't think Spain get themselves into a position where they're 3-0 down in the first place. But it was just it's a theoretical. If it was to happen, and it was a better team than Saudi Arabia, Uruguay will drop points here. However, because it is Saudi Arabia, and no offense Saudi Arabia, it is going to be a victory. Will there be a fourth goal late on here, just to put salt in the wounds? It's delivered in. It's Darwin Nunez, and as he naturally does, he puts the effort wide, and that will bring the game to a close. Again, Uruguay will get the win, will go top in the simulation group, but against a Spain or even against a Cabo Verde, who are going to be fighting for their lives now that they're on a point, it won't be enough.
Well, he'll certainly be pleased
it won't be enough. I mean, most of that time Uruguay got, well, 2 of the goals came from Saudi mistakes. The Pellistri goal was very nice as well. I mean, the only goal that didn't come from a mistake was Pellistri's, because the Saudi Arabian goal as well was set up by Faras, but only because the pass back to Jimenez was so poor from Oliveira. It's a 3-1 win for Uruguay, but I don't know how happy they'll be with the performance. I think they'll just be happy with the victory and the fact that they got off to a good start, and well, maybe potentially have 1 foot in the next round already. Take a look at the stats then at the end. It was very possession based for Uruguay for the majority, especially since Saudi Arabia got that goal. Uruguay locked it down a bit more, still let them have chances, but Saudi Arabia couldn't take them, and Uruguay went out 65-35 in terms of possession. 5 shots each in the end. Saudi Arabia did put in a little bit more fight. However, like I said, I think those 2 missed chances, one after the other, were really where it fell apart. Double the expected goals by Uruguay as of Saudi Arabia. 4 expected goals to 2, and it tells in the scoreline as well as the passing. Look at that, 465 passes. Might be one of the highest totals in these simulations. But it just shows the control that they could have without those mistakes in between. Man of the match for the winning side, I believe they'll show up first. It is Fede Valverde. Good enough in midfield, 96 passes and only fucked up 1, I believe. Or it will have fucked up 2 actually by that percentage. But the way that he and Agarte kind of went between each other, very smartly played from the pair of them, and I don't rate Agarte for Man United, but was very good there in keeping a hold of the possession. 8.2 though for Valverde. De Arrascaeta, dangerous, and you know, kind of calmed it down in the second half, but did get his assist for Pellistri's goal in the first half. He earned a 7.6, being brought off, I presume, to rest, just in case they needed him for the next game. Oliveira, partly involved with a mistake that's led to the Saudi goal. Other than that, very good day. Just unfortunately had that mistake. Ronaldo Araujo, solid enough at the back. Varela as well, decent. Darwin Nunez didn't really put too much of a threat up, but took his chance when he had it and nearly had another one right at the end of the game there, but just the wrong side of the post with a header. Like I said, Agarte, decent to be honest. I can't really fault him. You can see by the dribbles and the passes that Uruguay were just really wanting to see it out, and they did. Not with ease, but they did. Jose Maria Jimenez, the worst of the centre-backs, the worst of the back four, and I can agree with that one because he was the one that gave the ball away for the goal. And then the goalkeeper, Roche, I believe only 2 shots on target. One was saved, one was not. That was the one that went in from Al Kabari. It was Al Kabari with the goal. I pressed the wrong button there, but he was the man of the match for Saudi Arabia. He gets the goal that could have maybe sparked something into life. However, chances weren't taken from the other players. No changes made by Saudi Arabia in that one. No substitutions used. Faraz Al-Barakan with the assist, pouncing on that mistake at the back and laying off Kabari for a finish. 7.1 from him. Not bad actually. Quite threatening throughout the whole game, but shot accuracy needs to improve. 3 shots, none on target. Gets any of them on target. Saudi Arabia could be celebrating a different result right now. Well, could have had a different result and could be celebrating if it was a 3-all or a 4-3 potentially. Otherwise, poor at the back, and Al-Akidi, not really anything special. Let's say if he made was that one with Darwin Nunez, had a snapshot and he closed it down quite quickly, which is actually good goalkeeping. The only bit of good goalkeeping he made, to be fair, as the 3 other shots on target found the back of the net. Granted, one was a penalty, you have to remember that. But that is going to end another group stage game. In Simulation Land, Uruguay sit top of Group H. In real life, will it be the same story? Potentially. Who knows? If Spain and Cabo Verde go to a 0-0 draw in real life, I'll be shocked. But it would be one hell of a result. It would be probably the result of the tournament so far. But what I do know is that is the end of this particular simulation. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you guys are enjoying the World Cup. Take care and be safe.